This charming western town that you see behind me was the site of one of the worst floods to ever happen on our planet. Missoula, Montana.
At the end of the last ice age, a gargantuan ice dam gave way, unleashing a landlocked tsunami, a landnami, if you will, upon the west. And it is one of the most powerful and biggest floods of all time. And you're better to learn all about it, my friend. Oh yeah, and by the way, did I mention? It happened right in this valley.
We hiked up here to hunt for clues this flood left behind. Can you spot them before we do? Our story starts here, right here in this valley, like an American Atlantis, except there's no ocean in sight.
Is there any evidence on this campus of this flood? Beep, 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 beep.
Imagine the biggest flood you've ever heard of, and multiply it by 6, and then multiply it by another, like, let's say 1,300. Those are rough estimates, I don't know. I'm not good at this math thing. Anyway, and that flood was so powerful, it took sediment all the way from Canada, way out there, like way, and it brought it all the way here. Imagine that. And these pieces of sediment are called erratics. I'm standing on one right now.
That's right. Here at the start of our hike, you can find giant granite boulders that simply do not belong here. And they are scattered all across this town, delivered by a massive wall of water and ice, hundreds, maybe even thousands of feet high, moving at speeds of around 65 miles an hour.
That's faster than we drive. How could that much water and ice even move that fast?
This was no ordinary flood. That's how. Picture this. About 18,000 years ago, a wall of ice, 2,000 feet tall, is blocking this valley.
Like the wall from Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Behind it, water piles up for centuries until this whole valley becomes Lake Missoula, deeper than today's Great Lakes.
The entire valley where the town sits, all of it was underwater. So pretty much Missoula was Atlantis.
Yeah, pretty much. But here's the twist. That ice dam wasn't solid, right? Ice floats, and one day that dam gave way. You can see modern examples of this in places like Iceland, but nothing like this gal.
Do I want to know what happened when the ice wall broke?
Everything changed instantly. 20 million cubic meters of water per second just blasted out from the break. That's more than 10 times all the rivers on Earth combined. Canyons carved, boulders, the sides of houses just tossed. The Northwest map rewritten in days.
Yeah, okay, but is there any other evidence besides some rocks?
Yeah, absolutely. But we have to start hiking to see it.
So right now I've been walking from what would have been the bottom of the lake to the top.
That little rock down there next to the clock tower, that's the glacial erratic. We started at. Look where we are now. The Missoula M. And we're not even at the top where the water was.
We're about halfway up, I think.
Yeah, about halfway.
About halfway to the high water mark.
Yeah.
So let's keep going.
So stop recording and let me walk.
Oh, sorry. Let me not interfere.
Do you ever see a ring around your bathtub after you empty it? Well, this valley has similar rings all around it if you know where to look.
Look at the side of Mount Sentinel or Mount Jumbo. Those horizontal stripes are strandlines. They're ancient shorelines from when the lake filled and emptied again and again. And it didn't just happen once. Some scientists think it happened as many as 40 times.
Like nature's own refillable bathtub. And with a little effort, you can stand right at the high water mark.
So of course we did.
Because we love doing hard things.
Uh-huh. Well, for science.
So where I am right now, I would have been above the lake at its highest level. But where Kai is, he's at the highest point. That's the high water mark. Never mind, it's there. Get back up here! I thought it was there! This is what happens when he hikes so fast ahead of me. All of that underwater. Water everywhere. The high water mark of Glacial Lake Missoula.
Travel across the Northwest and you see even more evidence. The Channeled Scablands, Columbia River Gorge, Willamette Valley, canyons, waterfalls, erratics, giant flood ripples, all of it telling the story of these epic floods that covered some 16,000 square miles. Yeah, let that set in. 16,000 square miles. It's unimaginable. Missoula is where it all started, but you could spend weeks visiting locations that exist today because of these floods. And now I have a great idea for our next family vacation.
No. Okay, but do we know how this really happened? I mean, couldn't those marks have just been made by something else?
Oh, fine, Mr. Skeptical. Sure. In fact, that's what geologists thought for decades. It wasn't until the 1920s when geologist J. Harlan Bretz suggested that these scars in the land, they came from a catastrophic flood.
And everyone thought he was wrong. Bonkers even for suggesting that catastrophes could shape the land. Geology back then was all about slow and steady, rivers carving valleys over millions of years.
Totally, because geologists thought that events occur at the same rate now as they have always done. The present is the key to the past. That was the mantra. Catastrophic explanations just ran counter to the scientific theories of the time.
Our hiking styles are a great way to explain two different theories about geological processes on our planet.
Want to take bets on which one of us is catastrophic in this pair?
Me, slow, steady, continuous. You got to enjoy the scenery along the way. Kai? Fast, erratic, and hard to catch up with. He's not quite catastrophic. It's catastrophic for me, I guess, because I gotta go catch up with him. All right, here I go. No way! I am not running!
But the evidence in favor of catastrophic flooding kept piling up like the erratics at the bottom of the valley.
Yeah, Strandlines here in Missoula, giant ripples in valleys, dry waterfalls hundreds of feet tall. Eventually, scientists had to admit that Bretz was right. Catastrophes do shape the Earth. And that changed everything. Suddenly, geologists could explain the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, the collision that made the moon, even the possibility of floods on Mars.
Whoa. So Missoula isn't just local history, it's like the key to how we understand Earth and even other planets?
Yeah, exactly. By proving that sudden, violent events sometimes do shape landscapes, the Missoula flood rewrote the history of our planet. And that's why it matters. Our world is shaped both by slow change and sudden upheaval. Some are natural, some are man-made. The more we learn about Earth's scars, the better prepared we are for the future.
If a flood could reshape the Northwest in days, what about catastrophes waiting to happen today?
Well, there's a gaping hole in the ocean floor off the Pacific Northwest, and scientists say it could trigger the next megaquake.
Wait, bigger than the Missoula floods?
A different disaster, but one that could affect millions of people right now. And we went to investigate this underwater mystery. And what we found, it might keep you up at night. Sorry.